Some films require actors to go to great lengths in order to get in shape for their roles. In some movies, the actors choose to do their own stunts at times. Being tested physically and mentally, we don't see the work they put in behind the scenes, but we can see the transformation on the big screen. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button below, and be sure to join our notification squad to watch other great content. Can you guess which movie these emojis are referring to? Make it through to the end of the video to find out. 300. Gerard Butler. It's no easy feat to look like a Spartan warrior who is bred for one thing and one thing only: battle. Sparta's culture centered on warfare. From a young age, boys would be taken away from their mothers to be trained. They were disciplined, strong, smart, and dedicated to their kingdom, giving them an advantage over other Greek civilizations in the 5th century BCE. Gerard Butler, as well as the cast of 300, released in 2007, went through intense physical training to get their chiseled physique required for their roles. 300 made a record $70 million in the first weekend and $450 million worldwide. Men got their fix with the astounding visuals and brutal violence, while women were sure to get theirs with ripped bodies constantly on the screen. Hubba hubba. To get into peak physical condition, the actors stuck to a strict workout regimen entitled the 300 rep routine. The workouts are grueling and were designed to build muscle, increase muscular endurance, and strip fat fast. The workout is not only named after the movie, but for how many repetitions you are supposed to do for the whole workout. Split into pull-ups, push-ups, deadlifts, box jumps, floor wipe, single arm clean, and press with a kettlebell, and ending with even more pull-ups. You are supposed to be able to do this without stopping in between the various movements, not something that is easily doable, and you must be in peak physical condition to accomplish it. G.I. Jane. Demi Moore. The 1997 film G.I. Jane, starring Demi Moore, tells the true story of the first woman to go through U.S. Navy SEALs training, the toughest military training there is, mentally as well as physically tough enough as it is. Being a female is even harder, having to face sexism and other obstacles along the way. After all, she was the first female to give it a try. Buzzing off her gorgeous locks was only half battle of playing the role. She had to put in some serious work to get in shape to portray Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill. As you can imagine, the task was not easy. Her workout included real Navy SEAL training from Scott Calvinstein, with activities such as obstacle drills, distance runs, and swimming that combined with a lot of strength training in martial arts rounded out her regimen. Working out is only a part of getting the right body. Moore followed a strict diet that included lots of protein with green vegetables. Demi would start working out at 4 a.m. in order to finish before filming started. While she was living in New York City, she had multiple security guards follow her while she ran through Central Park. Batman Begins. Christian Bale. We've all seen The Dark Knight in comics, with his chiseled body appearing through his costume. Getting that physique for the movies is no different. Christian Bale bulked up hardcore to play the role of the Caped Crusader. You can't take on crime in Gotham City without a hulking body. He gained 109 pounds for Batman Begins, after losing 63 pounds for his role in The Machinist, released in 2004. Just 1 year prior, he went from 121 pounds to pounds in only 6 months, even more than Christopher Nolan required of him. So when filming began, Bale dropped back down to 190 pounds. That is some drastic weight gain and dropping. For a person, however, when your paycheck requires you to do so, you've got to do what you've got to do. How did he gain the weight back so fast, you asked? Apparently he had been lifting weights for at least 5 years before starring in Batman Begins, so that helps. Working out for that long, your muscles have a memory and can come back fairly quickly. That, combined with deadlines and a trainer yelling at you in the gym, is how it happened. He also had a great chef cooking for him, which helped immensely. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Tom Cruise. These days most people think of Tom Cruise as an eccentric little guy who has an iconic grin, loves Scientology, and jumps on couches from time to time. Did you know he's actually kind of a badass in a lot of his movies, mostly the Mission Impossible franchise? He does a lot of his own stunts, even more so he insists upon doing them. He loves the taste of danger and risks life and limb, all in the sake of making cool movies. Take Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, released in 2011. For example, remember the scene where Tom Cruise aka Ethan Hunt is scaling the world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa, in Dubai at 2,722 feet above the ground, with nothing more than a pair of suction cups on his hands. Well, believe it or not, he did that all himself. No stunt double was required during the filming of the scene. He trained for months to make sure it happened, not expecting the heavy winds. From that height, Cruise ended up smashing into the building several times, possibly a few bruises here and there, but totally worth it for a jaw-dropping scene. Tom always has something up his sleeve for the next big stunt, and it's speculated he will deliver in Mission Impossible 6: The Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt. Sometimes it's hard to remember Chris Pratt is the lovable, chubby goofball man-child named Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation. These days we see him as the action star he has more or less turned into. He was all of a sudden a velociraptor trainer, motorcycle rider, and then a Walkman-wielding human alien hybrid who helped save the galaxy. The actor got super ripped in his transformation into Peter Quill aka Star-Lord in the release of Guardians of the Galaxy. Everyone fell in love with a music-loving jokester. It didn't hurt that he also had a crew of equally likable characters. Chris dropped more than 60 pounds in 6 months for the role. He did all this by following an intense training regimen from personal trainer Duffy Gabber, accompanied with a calculated diet plan laid out for him from nutritionist Phil Goglia. Hard work definitely paid off for Pratt. He started out with 4 to 6 sessions a week for 5 months starting in February of. Chris would even do extra workouts by himself if he wanted to. Deep down he will always be Andy Dwyer. But Pratt these days has transformed himself into the galaxy defender we have come to adore. Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds has made quite a change, going from comic actor to comic book superhero. Not only was training to become the wisecracking anti-hero named Deadpool tough, getting the movie itself made was just as hard. The project was 11 years of hard work caused by a never-ending carousel of directors, writers, and negotiations. The result was Reynolds' dream job of playing Deadpool, plus since it got an R rating he could portray the Merc with a mouth in all his glory. Get in shape to play Wade Wilson. Reynolds worked with his trainer of many years, Don Saladino. Reynolds got extremely thin, putting on 7 pounds of lean muscle to do this. The Deadpool Workout focuses on 1 to 2 body parts. A day to get in superhero shape. Reynolds uses just about every piece of equipment in the gym and use a split training to get bigger. Split meaning chests on Monday, legs on Tuesday, cardio on Wednesday, shoulders on Thursday, and back on Friday. ABS are done twice per week. Clients trainer would also have him do foam rolling at the beginning of every workout. The idea is to prevent muscle soreness by massaging it away. Deadpool filming required some stunts, so it helped if Reynolds was in little to no pain. Thor: The Dark World. Chris Hemsworth. When Chris Hemsworth showed up on screen for the first time and Thor, he definitely looked the part. After all, he already had half the part down with the golden locks. There was still a lot more to be done physically, though, to pull off playing the Norse god of thunder who wields a hammer. Hemsworth had to dramatically change his body twice in a year when he portrayed the British race car driver James Hunt in Ron Howard's Rush. Hemsworth dropped down to 185 pounds for that role, a whole pound lighter than when he was playing Thor, not to mention he had to cut that weight in about 4 months. Definitely not something that it's easy to do. Cutting weight is one of the hardest things for any athlete to take on as part of their training plan. It is mentally, physically, and emotionally draining. Hemsworth does not have much of a sporting background besides riding waves on a surfboard, so the task was not easy for him to do. After the filming of Rush, Chris had to once again get back in the gym and put on the 30 pounds he had lost. It was time to don his cape armor and grasp his mighty Mjolnir once again in Ford: The Dark World. The Man of Steel. Henry Cavill Superman is arguably the most recognizable hero of all time. To play the Man of Steel, it helps to have the body to go along with the title. Henry Cavill got absolutely jacked to play the role of Superman in Man of Steel, released in 2013 to help get him into shape. Director Zack Snyder turned to Mark Twight, the same man who helped transform Gerard Butler and the Cat of 300 at the beginning of training. Cavill was told he needed to get 9 to 10 hours of sleep per night, no matter what, no exceptions, if he wanted to become Superman. That is what he had to do. If he didn't, then all of his work in the gym would be for nothing. There was one point in a training session that impressed White, which is hard to do. Cavill was at the bottom of a rep with 305 pounds resting across his shoulders. His muscles flat out quit on him. Cavill's butt was on the ground and he could have quit at that moment. Instead, he gave it everything he had and slowly rose from the floor, grinding it out. He completed the rep and put the bar back on the rack. This was the beginning of Cavill realizing what his body could do and really becoming Superman. Logan Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman has been playing Wolverine for over a decade now. Throughout all of the movies, it's safe to say he was extremely ripped. You kind of have to be to play Wolverine. However, for his final appearance as Wolverine and Logan, the Australian actor went all out with the help of trainer David Kingsbury. Surprisingly, one feat of accomplishment Jackman could cross off his fitness checklist is being able to do 100 clap push-ups in one set. Pretty crazy for a 48-year-old man. One way to appear leaner, Jackman would up his water intake to roughly 3 gallons a day prior to shooting, then 36 hours before he was required to be shirtless on camera. He stopped drinking it all. Along with this, he would intermittently fast between the hours of 1000 a.m. and 6 p.m., a tip he had learned from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to build lean mass. Jackman hadn't done much strength work in the past, but when he started working with Kingsbury, he started making huge strides. He was able to squat pounds, bench press pounds, and deadlift pounds in a single series, putting him in the pound dead weight club. It is extremely impressive and shows how much work he is willing to put in for the role. Captain America the Winter Soldier. Chris Evans. Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, was originally a frail man until being injected with a special serum, turning his body into perfection. Chris Evans, who plays Captain America on the big screen, didn't have the luxury of the serum. He transformed his body the old-fashioned way, and it was an arduous task to accomplish the third time donning the red, white, and blue for Captain America Winter Soldier. Evans amped up his game and took his physique to new heights. It took 3 months of hard work in the gym to get his body into perfect shape. Not just normal gym sessions either, they were brutal 2-hour sessions, and at times caused him to puke. Not only did he build muscle, but being fast and agile was also incorporated into the workout routines. To look like a superhero on the silver screen, you've got to train like one, and that's what he did, accompanied with heavy weightlifting. To bulk up was a strict diet high in protein so he could pack on pounds. This was done so he could realistically play a character that wouldn't look out of place next to his fellow Avengers. He is playing Captain America after all. What did you think of these movies listed? Would you have added any others? The answer to the movie emoji is, did you guess correctly? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to check out more videos from our playlist. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.